Hey ladies and gentlemen, Javier here with The Real Javier Novoa, a channel, a platform, and a modality where we apply the principles of philosophy, spirituality, mysticism, business, good planning, and so on and so forth to rapid lifestyle transformation and more generally to manifestation just across the board, because at root it's all the same modality. Many great business teachers have taught and said, many of them, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And how this applies for us here in that how we manifest in one modality, say getting a car or getting a job, is how we manifest in every modality, which is going to be our long-term, not in the too distant future, but long-term rapid lifestyle transformation, getting free from the prison grid. And I just wanted to make this quick video, so not going to be too long, just very quick, responding to some of people or some of my clients from my coaching calls that I had today and yesterday, and from some email questions I've been getting. It's all seemed to revolve around this one theme. And we've talked about it before, but I want to drive it home in a way that I think that we have not done so before, because every moment is new, and now is where all the impact and all your power is. As the great Seth said, now is the only place where all of your power is. Indeed, it is what Eckhart Tolle called the power of now. And so what we say now is going to be greater and more impactful than anything we've said before in the past. So keep that in mind. But before we start the video, guys, I just want to do a little celebration, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we just exceeded 300 subscribers on this channel. And I mark that as a great milestone, but now we're going to start thinking not in terms of hundreds. We're going to start thinking in terms of thousands. And I'm already in the state, so to speak, of a great many thousand subscriber base, because here's my opinion, and this goes into the teachings of marketing gurus and so on and so forth, some that I respect, Tim Ferriss and others. You see, if we can get 1,000 true fans, 1,000 true fans, 1,000 people who are hardcore about rapid lifestyle transformation, who are passionate, and who are putting into practice what we're exposing and teaching in these videos, if we can get that, we can change the world. All it takes is 1,000, but as everybody knows, probably about 5 to 10% of the subscribers are actually going to be people who are going to take it all the way, who are going to be participants in the program. So right now we could say we might have about 25 or 30 actual hardcore diehard fans who want to participate in this community of master manifestors on a daily basis. Others are very important, but they're going to be still people who are on the fence. They're going to be people who are watching this for interest, but the people who make a commitment are going to be a small core of that small core. So my state and my objective and my intention is to bring this to at least 5,000 fans as quickly as possible. 5 to 10,000. That's going to get us at our 1,000 true fans mark. And then we're going to start seeing some things that are going to blow your mind, ladies and gentlemen, as far as testimonies, as far as all of us feeding into each other's energy, uniting the energy so that we can push forward here and so that we can be in that state of actual freedom from the prison grid. It all starts with you. So if you find value in this material, it all starts with you. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the subscribe button below, and you will be putting in your energy with an already growing group of master manifestors, 300 now, and you'll be helping me get the word out. And this is a message whose time has come. So ladies and gentlemen, I did study many philosophies in my 20s, and one of them was Christian Science. And Christian Science is very impressive. They have great testimonials and great results, and even Dale Carnegie talks about in How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. He says, no, I'm not a Christian Scientist, but many of them have great teachings, including the founder of Christian Science and so on and so forth. Here's an issue that you see with many of them, and that you see indeed with many Christians and other religions who are into healing. Excuse me. Excuse me. They will say, many Christian scientists I spoke with would say, well, in order to have a healing, you have to believe, and you cannot use modern medicine. If you use modern medicine or go to a modern doctor, you won't heal, you'll die. Many of them said that. I don't think that's a dogma of Christian Science, putting to the side dogmas anyway. But it might be, or it might be a dogma of a group of Christian Science. And here's the problem. And this is the problem with every dogma, including law of assumption and law of attraction people who want to take the teachers of law of assumption and law of attraction, like Neville Goddard, like Abraham Hicks, like Seth, like Bashar, and try to turn their teachings into a set of dogmas. Of course, dogmas are beliefs that we must subscribe to or else, or are rules that we must subscribe to or else. For example, there's a dogma, like I said, in Christian Science that says, or among many Christian scientists, that says you cannot do modern medicine and manifest healing at the same time. It has to be one or the other. And I ask, why is that? Indeed, the great teachers, including people like Joe Dispenza and others, have said there's no contradiction, because if you know who you are, which is the I am, there's no contradiction. So you can do whatever you want. You can have the healing. You can have your cake and eat it too. If you're the divine and you're one with the divine and you've been given everything and you make the law, then you can have your cake and eat it too. You do not have to sacrifice anything on the outer. When the biblical statement says you must sell all that you have and follow me, and when Jesus also said that he found the pearl of great price and sold everything which he had for that pearl, that's talking about the inner selling. That's talking about selling all of your ideas and all of your dependencies and all of your beliefs on a cause, except for the one cause. And that's when you actually click into place and become a manifestor. Of course, you can manifest even if you didn't buy the pearl of great price. Even if you have belief in other causes, you can still manifest. You can apply the tools and manifest. The only problem is this becomes more and more difficult, especially if you're trying to hold on to your old beliefs. But I say, there's no contradiction. You can go to the doctor and manifest a healing. And I've known many people who have done this. So these dogmas, they're contradicting the true divinity that is you, and they're trying again. It's another way to separate you from the divinity. You have to follow my teaching. You have to follow this philosophy in order to get what you want. And many of us are doing the same thing again with law of attraction, law of assumption, even with our misunderstandings of it. And I got several questions just in the last few days about, Javier, if I truly am living in the end and believe that I'm in the end, then taking a step towards that on the physical or working towards it, excuse me, would contradict that and I wouldn't be in the state, right? So they have this sort of subconscious or semi-conscious resistance to taking action on the physical. Action in the world of Caesar. But if you look at all of the great teachers, including Neville, like for example, when he left the military, he put in the normal application in the world of Caesar. And he also manifested that, and it did not come from a way that he expected. So you can take action towards what you want. Indeed, it's encouraged, and we'll tell you why and when it's encouraged. But you can take action to what you want and manifest it. The only crux is you have to find some way not to be attached to the outcome coming from your actions. So, let's say you're trying to look for a job. You can take an action to apply to one company, but don't think that the result of that or the end that you're seeking has to come from that application that you put in for that company. Most likely, it will come from a place where you didn't expect. But you took the action, and why did you take the action? You took that action to smooth out that negative emotion and to smooth out the resistance so that you could allow the universe to deliver it to you. Because you know that action is not the cause. Rather, your being in the end is the cause. But you take action to sort of silence your physical mind and your physical emotions so that then you'll have the time and space to focus on this, what you want, the end. We talked about this before in many videos. I talked about in a video before how, you see, we have this concept of film rolls, and I made a video explaining film rolls. There's basically an infinite of potential scripts in the universe, and when you get into the state of your assumed end, of your objective, you're put on, according to your focus, a film roll that's going to take you there. And also it has a future that's going to take you there, and it has its own past, which is separate from the past of the film roll you're on. However, there's a glue that's sticking you, so to speak, to the current film roll that you're on, and that's negative energy. That's negative emotion. It's basically gluing you there, not allowing you to focus on another film roll. So what do? You take small actions, as many as possible, to smooth out the film roll that you're on, so that then you can release energy to get onto the other film roll. I hope you understand me just a little bit. And you have to contemplate it yourself in order to fit these all in. So knowing this, knowing that many times it's best if you take action to smooth out that film roll, and also knowing that you're already it, and also knowing that all film rolls are playing out through you and within you. What does that mean? You can abide on multiple film rolls, and indeed you do abide in multiple film rolls at the same time. That's what the Course in Miracles calls living vertically, because the film rolls are horizontal, but you're living vertically, and you can understand it as you're in one slide. But this slide could be a slide in multiple film rolls. So I want to break it down to you for you this way. You could be walking down the street, right, in a t-shirt and a pair of shorts, let's say. And you could be homeless. You don't have a home. Or you could be like some of these billionaires who also don't drive cars and that walk. Or you can be a man who makes $50,000 a year. All three of those would be taking the exact same action in the exact same moment. He'd be walking down the sidewalk of the street in a t-shirt and a pair of shorts. So what determines which film roll you're actually on? Think about it. There's a frame in a film roll. You're walking down the street, down the sidewalk. You could be A, a homeless person, B, a man who makes $50,000 a year, or C, a billionaire. All of those concepts are congruous with the person walking down the street. Which one are you? Well, the only one that determines which one you are is what we've called in the early days of this channel your context. And that's your thoughts and feelings and emotions and your whole state, implicit and explicit, of what you feel is around you. For example, a millionaire, he isn't always looking at his bank account, right? He's not like he's in a meeting and he's just looking at his bank account. He's with his wife and he's looking at his bank account. Oh, yep, there's 20 million in there. I still see 20 million. No. Most of the time, the millionaire's not even looking at his account. He doesn't even know how much he has. But he still is in the state of that millionaire. Why? Because his implicit context is that of a millionaire. So I put to you, the only thing that you have to do is get yourself into the state of that, assume the state, and then just follow the script on your film roll, because it would take more resistance to resist that script than it would to follow that script. So if you don't have a job and that's worrying you, apply for jobs. Do it in a way that's comfortable, and when you get uncomfortable, go back into the presence and just be present. Do it in a mindful and conscious way, and do it all the while you're assuming the state and the context of a person who is who you want to be. The person who doesn't even need that job. So you can be abiding in multiple film rolls at once, but you know where you are because you determine where you are. We're empowering you in this channel. We want to break you free from even the gurus and from the law of assumption, law of attraction coaches, because you are the master. There is no master. Neville Goddard talked about in his book, Your Faith is Your Fortune. There are no ascended masters. There is no guru. Krishnamurti said, there is no guru. You are the guru. The guru is within you. You have to be a light unto yourself. So there's no more dogma. There's no more teaching that says, I have to follow this teaching to manifest. We're not even applying this to manifest anything, because manifestation itself, I put to you, it's a useful concept, but it's a finite concept like all concepts. And as Alfred Korzybski said, the word is not the thing. Stop being fixated on these concepts. There's no other time than now. So there's nothing to manifest. You're just being it. So live in it to be it, and it will unfold for you. Take all of the actions that you feel you need to take on the world of Caesar. Don't spend all your savings. Do save money. And we encourage this in many videos of this channel. Do what's easy and what's useful. But I put to you one final thing. There are two kinds of desires, and I shared this with one of our clients, our coaching clients. The first desire is one that you desire mainly, of course they're mixed because there's no duality, but mainly because you fear the consequence of not having it. For example, you lost your job, you're looking for a job, you desire that. You desire it because you don't want to not have a job. You don't want to not have pay coming in. You can get there, but it's going to take more effort on this film roll to get there. Why? Because there's resistance in it. And in order to get to it, you first have to move up on the emotional scale to get to the state. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to do that consciously. It will automatically happen of its own accord, but you're going to have to clean up a little bit on this film roll. The second desire is that desire that you want purely for the desire of it. Perhaps you want a beautiful villa that you've been imagining. You don't really need it, but it's a desire. That's the perfect kind of desire, because you can focus on it, you have minimal resistance, and the most beautiful thing, like Abraham Hicks said, you have no idea how you're going to get there, so you can't interfere on it on this film roll. You can't interfere with it on this film roll. It comes a lot faster. Signs of it keep coming to you. But the main idea is this. There's no contradiction. There's no dogma. If you feel you need to do something, do it. Take action. Take beautiful action, and don't even get obsessed with taking inspired action. Because in the beginning, you're not even going to know what inspired action is. As you practice it, you will start getting the intuitive sense of when an action is inspired. Until then, go out there, take action, get overwhelmed as you will, and then come back to the silence. And that could be a spiritual practice for you. And then, my friends, everything will come to you in its own path, beautifully, through your path of least resistance, because that's the way manifestation works. Guys, thank you for watching. Remember, I am doing coaching calls. These are really taking off. I'm now spending the majority of my time on these calls. Please email me in the description. We will help you to make more progress in weeks and months than some people make in years by an applied understanding of these philosophical, metaphysical modalities, as well as my years of experience in business and consulting. Thanks for watching, guys. Till very soon, this is Javier. See you soon.